A 12-year-old boy crashed through the doors of the Hells Angels clubhouse covered in blood that wasn't his. He was holding a knife and screaming one sentence over and over. "They're going to kill my sister tonight at midnight." The bikers pulled their weapons instantly. "Kid, put the knife down," ordered Razor, the chapter president. "Not until you promise to help me," the boy shouted. "My sister has 6 hours left, and the police won't listen because the man who took her is one of them." He threw a badge on the table. "Detective Stephen Pierce. He's going to sell her." The boy's name was Daniel Martinez, and he looked like he'd been through hell. His clothes were torn, his face bruised, and his hands were shaking so badly he could barely hold the knife. "Where did you get that blood?" asked Hawk, the club's enforcer, a massive man with a scar running down his face. "From the man who tried to stop me from leaving," Daniel replied. "He's alive, but he won't be walking for a while." Every biker in that room understood survival instincts. This kid had them. "Start from the beginning," Razor commanded, his voice firm but not unkind. Daniel took a shaking breath. "My sister Emma is 10 years old. 3 days ago, she was taken from the playground near our foster home. The police said they'd handle it, but nothing happened. Because Detective Pierce is the one who took her," Daniel continued. "I saw him. I followed them to an abandoned warehouse on 8th Street. "How do you know he's going to sell her tonight?" asked Snake, their intelligence officer. "Because I heard him on the phone," Daniel said. "He was talking about a buyer coming at midnight. Someone from out of state. Someone who pays well for blonde girls under 11. The temperature in the clubhouse dropped 30 degrees. "Why come to us?" Razor asked carefully. "Why not go to another police station, to the FBI, to anyone else?" "Because 2 weeks ago, you saved a kid from a burning car on Highway 9, Daniel said. "I saw it on the news. The reporter said the Hells Angels risked their lives for a stranger's child." He looked at each of them. "I need people who actually care, not people who wear badges and lie." Hawk was already checking the boy's story on his phone. "Warehouse on 8th Street, he said. "Registered to a shell company. Same company owns 3 other properties flagged in trafficking investigations but never raided." Snake's fingers flew across his laptop. "Detective Stephen Pierce, 15 years on the force. Decorated officer. Married with 2 kids. Coaches Little League." He paused. "Also, has a sealed internal affairs file that I can't access legally." "Can you access it illegally?" Razor asked. "Give me 5 minutes," Snake replied. Daniel suddenly swayed on his feet. "When did you last eat?" asked Tiny, the club's 300-pound road captain. "Yesterday morning," Daniel admitted. Tiny disappeared into the kitchen. Within minutes, he returned with a sandwich and water. "Eat," Tiny ordered. "You can't help your sister if you pass out." While Daniel ate, Snake broke through the firewall. "Got it," he announced. 3 complaints against Pierce in the last 4 years, all involving missing children from foster care. All complaints filed by social workers who later retracted their statements. "One of those social workers quit and moved to another state," Hawk noted, reading over Snake's shoulder. "Another one died in a car accident 6 months after filing." "This goes deeper than one corrupt cop," Razor said. Daniel finished his sandwich. "There's more," he said quietly. "Detective Pierce has a partner, Captain Robert Chen. He runs the division that handles missing children cases. Every biker recognized that name. Chen was untouchable. Political connections, media darling, community hero." "How do you know Chen is involved?" Razor asked. "Because I broke into Pierce's car last night," Daniel said. "I found his phone and I listened to his voicemails before the battery died. Chen left 2 messages about tonight's transaction. One confirming the time, another warning Pierce to be careful because some biker gang was asking questions about missing kids." "That would be us," Hawk growled. "We've been investigating disappearances near foster homes for 3 months. The police kept telling us to back off. Now we know why. If you believe the Hells Angels are the real protectors, subscribe to this channel and show your support." Razor made a decision. "We have 5 hours until midnight. Snake, I need everything on that warehouse. Blueprints, security, all of it. Hawk, gather the crew. Everyone who can ride. Tiny, get our medical kit ready. We might need it." "What about me?" Daniel asked. "You're staying here where it's safe," Razor said. "No way," Daniel protested. "Emma is my sister. I'm going." "You're 12 years old," Hawk stated. "This is going to get violent." "I don't care," Daniel said. His voice broke. "She's all I have. Our parents died 2 years ago, and foster care split us up. I haven't seen her in 6 months until I tracked her to that playground." He looked at Razor with desperate eyes. "Please, I promise I won't get in the way. I just need to be there when you find her." Razor saw something in that kid's eyes. The same thing he'd seen in the mirror after his own sister disappeared when he was young. The same rage, the same determination, the same refusal to give up. "You stay on the bike behind me," Razor said. "You do exactly what I say, when I say it. No arguments." Daniel nodded. "I promise." Snake interrupted. "Got the warehouse layout. 3 floors, basement, and a tunnel system that connects to the old subway line. This place is perfect for trafficking. Multiple exits, no neighbors, soundproof walls." "Security?" Razor asked. 4 cameras outside, motion sensors on the doors, and probably armed guards inside. I count 3 vehicles registered to shell companies parked near the location right now. "Pierce isn't working alone," Hawk observed. "How many are we bringing?" Razor asked. 32 of us are available tonight," Hawk replied. "The entire chapter minus the guys on the West Coast run." "That'll do," Razor said. "But we're not going in guns blazing. We need Emma alive. We need evidence. And we need to make sure this never happens again." "What's the plan?" Snake asked. Razor spread the warehouse blueprints across the table. "We split into 3 teams. Team 1 creates a distraction at the front. Team 2 enters through the tunnel system. Team 3 secures the perimeter and blocks all exits." Daniel studied the blueprints. "There's a ventilation shaft here," he pointed. "I used it to get close enough to hear Pierce yesterday. It leads directly to the basement level." The bikers looked at him with new respect. "You got inside?" Hawk asked. "How close?" "Close enough to see my sister through a crack in the wall," Daniel said. "She was in a cage." He wiped his eyes roughly. She looked so scared. Razor put a hand on the boy's shoulder. "We're getting her out tonight, I swear it. The Hells Angels don't break promises to kids." They spent the next 2 hours preparing. Weapons were checked, radios tested, routes planned. Daniel watched these men transform from casual bikers into a tactical unit. These weren't criminals. They were soldiers. Snake pulled up something else on his laptop. "I found the buyer," he announced. "His name is Vincent Caruso. He runs a network across 5 states. FBI has been trying to catch him for 8 years, but he's careful. Never does his own pickup, never stays in one place. But he's getting sloppy," Snake continued. "He's been using the same burner phone pattern for 6 months. I can track him. If we can catch him with Emma, we have proof," Razor said. "We can bring down Pierce, Chen, and Caruso all at once." "That's a lot of risk," Hawk warned. "If anything goes wrong, they'll bury us." "Then we make sure nothing goes wrong," Razor replied. At 11 o'clock, 32 Hells Angels rolled out. The sound of their motorcycles echoed through the night like thunder. Daniel held tight to Razor's back, feeling the power of the bike beneath him. For the first time in 3 days, he felt hope. They parked 6 blocks from the warehouse. Team 1 moved into position at the front entrance. Team 2, led by Hawk, disappeared into the old subway tunnel entrance. Team 3 spread out, covering every possible exit. Razor and Daniel approached the ventilation shaft. "It's small," Razor noted. "I can't fit." "I can," Daniel said. "No, it's too dangerous." "I've done it before," Daniel insisted. "I know the way. I can find Emma and signal you when I have eyes on her." Razor hesitated. Every instinct told him to keep the kids safe, but they needed someone inside. "Fine," he agreed. "But you wear this." He handed Daniel a small radio earpiece. "You see anything, you report immediately. You don't try to be a hero. Deal." Daniel crawled into the ventilation shaft. His heart pounded as he moved through the narrow space. Below him, he could hear voices. "We should have done this hours ago," someone complained. "Pierce wanted to wait until the buyer confirmed," another voice replied. "That's Pierce." Daniel recognized his voice. He reached the grate overlooking the basement. Below him, he saw Emma. She was still in the cage, curled up in the corner. Alive. Relief flooded through him. "I have eyes on Emma," Daniel whispered into the radio. "She's in the basement, northeast corner." "How many hostiles?" Daniel counted. 4 men, including Pierce. All armed. "I see the buyer," he added. Older guy in an expensive suit. "That's Caruso," Snake's voice came through the earpiece. "We need him on camera making the exchange." "Can you see any cameras in that room?" Razor asked. Daniel scanned carefully. 2 cameras, one pointing at the cage, one at the door. Snake, can you hack those cameras? Razor asked. Already on it, Snake replied. Give me 90 seconds. Daniel waited, every second feeling like an hour. His sister was right below him, so close but still trapped. Done, Snake announced. I'm recording everything. Pierce just handed Caruso a file folder. Probably Emma's medical records, fake identification, the usual package these monsters provide. Daniel felt rage building inside him. He wanted to drop through that grate and attack Pierce himself. Stay calm, Razor's voice came through, as if reading his thoughts. We're moving in now. That's when everything went wrong. A police radio crackled in the basement. All units. We have a situation. Hell's Angels spotted 6 blocks from your location. Pierce's head snapped up. It's a raid, he shouted. Move the girl now. Caruso grabbed his briefcase. Our deal is off. I don't pay for complications. He ran for the door. Team 1, block him, Razor commanded. But it was too late. Caruso had a backup exit they hadn't seen. Emma, wake up. Pierce was unlocking the cage. We're moving you. Emma opened her eyes, saw Pierce, and started screaming. Shut up! Pierce slapped her. That's when Daniel dropped through the grate. The 12-year-old boy landed hard but rolled, just like he'd practiced 100 times in foster care when bigger kids attacked him. He came up with his knife ready. Get away from my sister, he shouted. Daniel, Pierce said with fake concern. Thank God you're here. Your sister was kidnapped and I rescued her. Daniel wasn't buying it. I heard everything, he said. I know what you are. Pierce pulled his gun. Put the knife down, kid. You're making a mistake. The only mistake was not killing you when I had the chance, Daniel replied. He wasn't backing down. Pierce aimed at Daniel's head. Your choice. The gunshot echoed through the warehouse. But it wasn't Pierce who fired. Hawk had come through the tunnel entrance and shot the gun out of Pierce's hand. The detective screamed, clutching his shattered fingers. Nobody points a gun at a kid while we're watching, Hawk said coldly. More Hell's Angels poured into the basement. Pierce found himself surrounded by very angry bikers. Emma! Daniel ran to the cage. His sister threw herself into his arms through the bars. Danny! She sobbed. I knew you'd come. I promised. Remember, Daniel said, his voice breaking. I promised I'd never let anyone hurt you. Razor opened the cage with bolt cutters. Emma stumbled out and Daniel caught her. She was thin, dirty, and terrified, but alive. Snake burst in. We've got a problem. Captain Chen just arrived with 8 officers. They're saying we're the ones who kidnapped Emma, and they're here to rescue her. Of course they are, Razor said. Pierce probably called for backup before we arrived. We're recording everything, Snake reminded him. We have proof. Proof means nothing if we're all dead, Hawk replied. Chen's voice boomed through a megaphone outside. Hell's Angels, this is Captain Robert Chen. Release the child and surrender immediately. We have the building surrounded. Daniel held Emma tighter. They're going to take her again, he whispered. Not while we're breathing, Razor promised. But they had a problem. 8 cops outside, 4 corrupt men inside, including Pierce, and 2 kids who needed protection. Going out shooting would end badly for everyone. That's when Emma spoke for the first time. I can prove they're lying, she said quietly. Everyone looked at her. Pierce and Chen. Emma continued. They didn't know I had my phone. I recorded them talking 3 days ago about selling me. She pulled a small phone from her sock. They never searched me because I pretended to be asleep. Smart girl, Snake said, taking the phone. This is gold. But Chen won't care, Hawk warned. He'll confiscate it as evidence and it'll disappear. Then we need to upload it before he gets his hands on it, Snake said, his fingers already moving. Where? Everywhere, Snake replied with a grim smile. News stations, FBI tip line, social media, every platform I can access. Make it viral so they can't bury it. Pierce lunged for the phone. Snake, look out! Daniel yelled. Pierce tackled Snake, but Tiny grabbed Pierce by the neck and lifted him off the ground like he weighed nothing. You really want to try that again? Tiny asked pleasantly. Pierce gasped for air, his face turning purple. Tiny dropped him. Upload complete, Snake announced. Emma's video is now on 47 different platforms, and I sent it directly to the FBI field office, internal affairs, and 5 news stations. Chen can't stop it now. Outside, they heard Chen getting angry. You have 30 seconds to comply or we're coming in, Razor made a decision. We're not surrendering. But we're not fighting cops either. Even corrupt ones. So what do we do? Hawk asked. We let the truth walk out first. He looked at Emma. Sweetheart, I need you to be brave one more time. Can you do that? Emma nodded, clutching Daniel's hand. I need you to walk out those doors and tell Captain Chen exactly what happened, Razor said. Tell him Pierce took you. Tell him about the cage. Tell him everything. But they'll just lie and say I'm confused, Emma protested. Not if the news cameras are recording, Snake said. And I just tipped off every news station in the city that there's a hostage situation here involving a missing foster child and corrupt cops. He checked his laptop. 3 news vans just pulled up. Chen is about to have a very public problem. The Hells Angels are not just bikers. They're heroes. If you support real justice, subscribe to this channel. Razor opened the basement door. Emma and Daniel walked out first, followed by 32 Hells Angels with their hands visible but their faces defiant. Captain Chen stood with 8 officers, guns drawn. Behind them, 3 news cameras were rolling live. Captain Chen, Emma said loudly, her voice carrying. Detective Pierce kidnapped me 3 days ago from the playground. He kept me in a cage and was going to sell me to a man tonight. Chen's face went pale. Sweetheart, you're confused. No, she's not, Daniel added. I have his badge. He pulled it from his pocket. Pierce dropped it when he tried to stop me from escaping. The news reporters surged forward with questions. Captain Chen, is it true one of your detectives is involved in child trafficking? Chen tried to control the situation. This is an ongoing investigation. I can't comment. Emma held up her phone. I recorded everything, she announced. Pierce and Captain Chen talking about selling me and other kids from foster care. It's all on video. One reporter's eyes widened as she checked her own phone. It's already online, she said. The video has 50,000 views and climbing. Chen's carefully constructed world collapsed in real time. His political career, his reputation, his freedom, all crumbling because a 10-year-old girl was braver than he ever expected. Where is Detective Pierce? Another reporter demanded. The Hells Angels stepped aside, revealing Pierce clutching his shattered hand, blood dripping from his fingers. The cameras captured everything. Pierce, seeing his future in prison, made a last, desperate move. He grabbed Emma and put his backup gun to her head with his good hand. Nobody moves or the girl dies, he screamed. The officers hesitated, unsure who to point their guns at anymore. The Hells Angels didn't hesitate. 32 bikers had weapons trained on Pierce in under 3 seconds. You won't shoot, Pierce said. Too many witnesses. Too many cameras. You're right, Razor agreed. We won't shoot. Daniel moved so fast nobody saw it coming. He drove his knife into Pierce's leg. Pierce screamed and dropped Emma. Hawk caught her before she hit the ground. Daniel stood over Pierce, his knife ready to strike again. That's for my sister, Daniel said coldly. Pierce lay on the ground, defeated. The news cameras captured his arrest. They captured Chen trying to run before other officers tackled him. They captured Emma and Daniel hugging while Hells Angels formed a protective circle around them. The FBI arrived 20 minutes later. Special Agent Morrison took statements from everyone. The video evidence Emma recorded led to 47 arrests across 5 states. Vincent Caruso was caught at the airport, trying to flee the country. Captain Chen got 30 years for conspiracy and trafficking. Detective Pierce got life without parole. 3 other officers involved in the network went down with them. The warehouse raid exposed a trafficking ring that had operated for 6 years. 19 children were rescued that night from various locations. Foster care system in the city underwent complete reform. Emma and Daniel were placed with a retired teacher who'd been fostering siblings for 20 years. But they still visited the Hells Angels clubhouse every Sunday. Razor became their unofficial guardian. The entire chapter adopted both kids as family. Daniel learned mechanics from Snake, self-defense from Hawk, and cooking from Tiny. Emma learned she didn't have to be scared anymore because she had 32 uncles who'd go to war for her. The knife Daniel used that night was mounted on the clubhouse wall. Below it, a plaque read, December 8th, the night Daniel Martinez proved family isn't about blood. It's about who shows up when everyone else walks away. Razor looked at it every day and remembered. Not the violence, not the corruption, but the moment a 12-year-old boy crashed through their doors and trusted them to do what was right. That's what real family does. They show up, they fight, they protect. And sometimes they're a group of bikers who society calls criminals, but who saved 19 children when the system designed to protect them failed completely. If you believe the Hells Angels are the real heroes, subscribe to this channel and show us your support.